All right, awesome. On to our next technical panel. So we've got Ganesh from our partner Covalent, who's going to take you through using their platform and what they're planning on for the future. So take it away, Ganesh.
Thanks, Nate. Super excited to be here. I am Ganesh Swami. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of Covalent. Most podcasts here, I listen to them at 1.2 to 1.5x speed because, it just speeds up things. So I'm going to actually speak faster and save you guys some time, so you don't have to run this particular screencast in 1.5 times faster. So that's a little quip there. So Covalent has been around for a while. We've been around for about 3.5 years. We started out with this idea that for blockchains to be adopted in an enterprise setting, they have to connect to existing investments. So this could be investments in talent. You're not going to retrain the people. They want familiar interfaces, the existing processes. It's too difficult to change processes in an enterprise setting. And the tooling. You're not going to throw away all of the infrastructure investments that you've made over the last couple of decades. So it's that idea that we decided to put a database-like interface on top of a blockchain, so your reporting analyst can just use Excel or Tableau or Power BI or any database driver to talk to a blockchain, just read from blockchain, just like any other data source. So that was the genesis idea for Covalent. And the word covalent comes from covalent bonds in chemistry, which is a kind of bond, one of the more popular bonds. And I used to build cancer drugs in the first half of my career, so that's a little homage to my past. So we've been building the company for the last couple of years. And last year, 2020 was a pivotal moment. We hit product market fit. We became profitable. And we started to see more and more increasing use cases across investor dashboards, taxation, wallets, and so on. And then we were just unable to keep up with the scale and the demand that customers were coming to us with. So this is when we decided to go out and raise a round of venture funding and then scale the company. So today, what Covalent provides is a unified API to pull out balances and positions and historical transaction granular activity for any kind of use cases. So the analogy I like to think is that we give you a can of tomato sauce and some pasta. Whether you make lasagna or something else is up to you. So our customers fall into broad categories, exchanges, wallets. So pretty much every wallet on Ethereum uses Covalent. So another example would be 0x. All of their balances and tokens in the Matcha interface comes from Covalent. Lots of use cases. So we have over 100 different customers, and our API is free to use. And there's lots of exciting news coming up on that front. But since this is a technical demo, I'm going to focus on the technical bits on how developers building on the Moonbeam network can benefit from a solution like Covalent. So I'm going to start my screen share. So someone said, did I give up on cancer? No, I haven't. There are 2 drugs in phase 2 trial for breast and ovarian cancer. So that's still ongoing. The company is now publicly listed on the New York Stock Exchange. It's just that it takes about 5 years to build an MVP, where in the crypto space, it takes like a weekend to build an MVP. It's just I miss this excitement here. So solving cancer is still a worthy goal. Awesome. So that's our website. So you can go to covalenthq.com, and it tells you all the supported blockchains. So we support Binance Smart Chain, Polygon, Avalanche, Phantom, soon Moonbeam, near Polkadot, and Stockware. But we are game for any EVM-based chain, and non-EVM-based chains like Elrond and Near are non-EVM-based chains. But the most important thing is you go to our API docs. One of the beautiful things about Covalent's API is we offer a no-code solution, which means that we don't require developers, or we don't force developers to sit down and write a transformation or some kind of aggregation or some extraction or indexing scripts we index the entire blockchain. So the good analogy to think about Covalent versus other alternate solutions is with other alternate solutions, you have like an Excel sheet per protocol. So let's say you have one for SushiSwap, and you have one for Uniswap, and you have one for 1inch, for example. And these little Excel files, they're formatted differently. They don't really talk to each other. And so, there are thousands of contracts on the blockchain. So you're going to have thousands of these little Excel files. With Covalent, what we've done is we've made an exact replica of the data on the blockchain into a database. So we copy out every balance, every position, every transaction, every log event, every storage slot right. That is the granularity that we work with. And then on top of that, we provide an API that answers most of the common questions across all of our customers. And so these API endpoints are actually categorized into two buckets. We have Class A endpoints and Class B endpoints. The Class A endpoints are generic endpoints that are accessible to any blockchain that is supported. The Class B endpoints are specific to a protocol that is deployed on a particular blockchain. So if I go through the Class A endpoints, one of the most popular and perhaps the best API, best-in-class API in the space is get token balances for address. So this is a very simple REST API where all you have to do is give it the chain ID. So we support about 8 different blockchains. So we can provide one for Ethereum mainnet, 137 for Polygon, 80,001 for the testnet, 56 for Binance Smart Chain, and so on. Soon there will be a Moonbeam testnet and a Moonbeam mainnet once it's live. And then you give it the address. If there's ENS resolution supported on the chain, we'd resolve that ENS. And then you call it the balances endpoint. And what this is able to give you is able to give you every single ERC20 contract with their spot prices, with their logos, and also the NFTs. And in NFTs, we support 721s and 1155. So just think about how this actually works. On the Ethereum blockchain, there are over 200,000 ERC20 contracts because of the composable nature of these contracts. For example, if I go and deposit or open up an LP position on Uniswap, that LP token, the IOU token, is an ERC20 contract. Then I can go and put that into some other contract, and then it emits another ERC20 contract. So these composable protocols, they have basically an exploding variations of the ERC20 contracts. So there's over 200,000 ERC20 contracts. And if you look at every other wallet application out there, what they do is they have a static list of the top maybe 100 or 200 ERC20 contracts. And then every time you hit try to fetch balances, they go and hit every single ERC20 contract on that whitelist and then see if you have a non-zero balance. Obviously, this is missing out over 90% of the contracts out there. All the LP positions on Sushi and Uniswap, and it just goes on, including Balancer. So the way Covalent works is, like I said before, we copy out the entire blockchain into a database. So we actually have an index of every single ERC20 contract that's available on the target blockchain. So if you were to ask what are the ERC20 non-zero ERC20 balances, then it's simply a matter of looking into the contract state of those 200,000 contracts, and we're able to give you the balances. So this endpoint runs in less than a second. So this showcases the power of Covalent. So this is one of our most popular endpoints, especially in the NFT galleries, NFT use cases, getting out token balances, and so on. Another beautiful use case is the portfolio value. So this gives you a snapshot of the fiat value equivalent of every ERC20 contract in your wallet over the last 30 days as a OHLC candlestick. So this is super powerful to show portfolio value over time, again, for a wallet use case. Other examples can be transactions. So this is, again, a very powerful endpoint. Given a wallet address, it's able to show you all the transactions that involve your wallet address. Again, this is very powerful in the sense that it's not just filtering out wallet or transactions with your address in the to and the from. It's also able to decode log events and figure out if your wallet address is in those deeper things. Soon enough, if you look at how these sidechains work, they snapshot their data when you exit from the sidechain in call data. and we'll be indexing and putting the schema on the call data. And so those snapshot transactions that modify your balance will also show up in this transaction endpoint. There's some examples here where we're able to find transactions that even Etherscan misses, for example. Get token transfers, again, a very powerful endpoint where you can give it an address and give it a smart contract, and maybe a DAI or a USDT, and tells you every transfer in and transfer out, including their historical pricing information. By the way, the fiat prices, we support about a dozen different fiat prices. So all you have to do is give it the code currency, and it's able to give you in Japanese yen, Russian rubles, Canadian dollars, US dollars, euros, Indian rupees, Korean won, so on and so forth. So those are the Class A endpoints. The Class B endpoints are specific to a protocol. So for example, if you're looking for, I know SushiSwap is coming on Moonbeam, and so here as an example, get SushiSwap address exchange balances. So what you have to do is just give it your wallet address and give it the target blockchain. So I believe we support Polygon, Phantom. So this is specific to the SushiSwap. So we map out all the transactions, map out all the factory contracts. All of that is automatic on the back end. And what this is going to tell you is every single LP position that you have a SushiSwap balance. So if you're trying to build a holistic wallet interface and you have sushi investments across 4 or 5 different blockchains, then this one endpoint, all you have to change is change the chain ID. And then of course, the address is going to change on the different blockchains. And it's going to give you all the LP positions across all these blockchains. So yeah, we have a couple of endpoints in the Class B endpoints. And then, of course, we have a very powerful pricing endpoint. So with this pricing endpoint, this, I think, is our 6th iteration of the pricing. So initially, we started as a total volume-weighted pricing engine from centralized exchanges. But what happened last summer is a lot of the price discovery moved onto these DEXs. So now we have an AMM pricing module. And then what happened is Bitcoin, for example, there are multiple ways of getting Bitcoin onto Ethereum. So it's not just wrapped Bitcoin, but there's like Tether Bitcoin, there's Ren BTC, lots of options. So we're just refining this as the market evolves. Yeah, so that's basically what's going on with Covalent. One unified API. What's coming in the future is we'll be adding Moonbeam support. So the best place to look at it is you can go to our Covalent docs. It's just covalenthq.com/docs, and then you go to the supported networks. And then we have basically a landing page for every single supported network. So once Moonbeam is live, there'll be a separate page for Moonbeam, and you can just go to that page and tell you all the resources. So I'll show Matic, for example. So it'll tell you what are the nuances. So it tells you what's going on with the chain ID, block time, refresh rates, latency rates, all the supported endpoints, how the gas token is mapped, how the tokens are mapped. A lot of the times, these newer blockchains, there's not enough liquidity on the target blockchain. So we need to map contract prices from Ethereum mainnet to the target blockchain and port over the prices. So we are able to do that reading the contract balances on the chain. Yeah, and then a link to infrastructure providers. So Anchor, Chain Stack, whoever we support. I think the node hosting companies are a critical part of the infrastructure. So we only provide the indexing services, but you still need the Web3 API for state-changing functionality. So yeah, I think that's basically a high-level gist. Like I said, I spared you from the 1.5x thing, so you can actually slow down this chat. But we'll be having more and more of these sessions over the coming years. And so yeah, on to you, Nate.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Ganesh. And just to throw it out there for folks, I think the Covalent team is going to be joining our workshop group in next week or 2 weeks. I think it's actively kind of being built out right now, which was awesome. And we actually joined an AMA last week with Eric from your team to kind of talk about, so that the indexing service is obviously what you do, but where you do it moving forward is actually going to be done on Moonbeam, which is pretty awesome. So all the transactions are going to be kind of recorded on Moonbeam. So there's a huge partnership here, and we're excited to continue to work with you guys. So thanks again for joining, Ganesh. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. And so next up is going to be Open Zeppelin.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, everyone. Cheers.